What's up, everybody? It's Braxton. First day of the symposium is over. I had an awesome time. Went to a few different demos today. The first one was from John Jordan. He did one on holoform vessels, which I find absolutely incredible. I'm really into holoforms. He talked a lot about orienting the holoform like within the log, a little bit on cross-grain holoforms versus end-grain holoforms. He really stressed lathe maintenance, keeping your bed nice and smooth and clean. And he also talked about your tool rest, how important it is to keep your tool rest sanded and smooth, because that motion on the tool rest translates into the outside of the holoform and helps make it a much smoother and more uniform shape. So it takes a lot less sanding and cleanup work. I was able to sit down with John and do a little bit of an interview, so keep an eye out for that on the Woodturners Anonymous podcast. The next demo I went to was from Wes Pilley. Wes I've gotten to know through Instagram and Facebook, and he does some amazing work. He's a machinist by trade, and so he's made himself a whole bunch of different chucks for turning these spheres and trying to get them, absolutely perfect on the outside and doing different work with them. But one thing he realized is that it's a lot easier than he had thought to make a perfect spear without a lot of tools or special jigs or expensive things like that. And he went into depth on how exactly you do that. He's got some really, really cool techniques for doing it, and I'm looking forward to taking those home and trying to turn some spheres myself. Third demo of the day was from Nick Agar. Nick is one of my favorite wood turners. I had the pleasure of seeing him at Jimmy Clue's house for almost like a private demo for our little wood turning group that we have down in Las Vegas. And this time he was doing a square multi-axis wall piece, and it was art. He airbrushed it. He did all kinds of different coloring techniques. He showed the proper cutting techniques for making nice V grooves in it without getting a lot of tear out on one side. So it's always a pleasure to see Nick demonstrate. He's a super cool guy, and it really gets me thinking outside of the box. I turn bowls, and sometimes bowls get boring, and he explained that he was a production turner turning plates, and he had offcuts from plates. One day he just messed around, made a little wall piece, hung it up on the wall, and somebody came in to buy some plates and paid like 5 times as much for this wall piece than they did for the plates. And it was right then that he realized you've got a lot less competition on the wall than you do on the table. So after that, it was basically off to the races for him. After the third demo, it was time for the swap meet. Now, I didn't get a lot of footage of the swap meet because I was selling my own wood, and it worked out really well. People up here in Utah, I guess they love the desert wood, so I'm going to be bringing more up next year. And hopefully I got enough here to buy myself a new CBN wheel. That was my goal, sell enough wood to buy a CBN wheel, so we got to see. After that, there was a barbecue, so we ate some dinner. They did an egg cup race, and 2 people head-to-head, see how fast they could turn a little egg cup. After the egg cup race was Stuart Batty and Mike Mahoney, almost like dueling bowls. They have very different techniques for forming the outside of the bowls, and so they went into depth on the tools they use to cut that, how they hollow them. Mike actually cored out his bowls. Stuart just hollowed it out regularly, and then they talked about the 40-40 grind that they both like to use and the advantages of that, how it kind of almost acts as a parting tool and a skew chisel, and it makes a nice clean cut and then plows all the wood out of there just to clear shavings. And you should see some of the shavings that were coming out of these bowls, probably inch wide. Mike was turning a sycamore bowl, and he said it was cut down a few days before, so it was very green. Really, really cool. They also talked about the importance of a bottom finisher bowl gouge and what that does, and at what point you need to switch from the 40-40 grind to a bottom finisher. So that was super cool. Now it's time to go home. Got to edit this video and get it uploaded for you guys. I hope you're enjoying them. Please let me know in the comments below. I got 2 more days to go. Give me a thumbs up for this one. Share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It really helps me out. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cops just drove by. They're probably looking at me like an idiot because I'm talking to the camera.